Hello everybody, my name is Idom, and today I have some more GT Sport news. But first and foremost, I would like to announce that I'll be out of town until next Friday or Thursday. I don't know what day it is yet, but you can be rest assured that once I get back, I'll be on top of making videos, or at least try to, again, daily, but there's no promise there. It's getting pretty hard to make videos with the beta being pretty much 100% covered. It's getting pretty difficult, but I'm gonna try find new things to upload and whatnot. But let's get this kicked off. In an interview with the CEO at Polyphony Digital, he said some interesting things. So first off, this game is gonna have more features than any Gran Turismo ever. It's going to have all features that are contained within Gran Turismo 5 and Gran Turismo 6, and then some. First, I would like to see a used car dealership return. I don't know how they're going to go about it if they do decide to bring it back, but I doubt they would, because before, the used car dealership just had the base model cars, the standard model, if you will. They were just graphically declined vehicles that were in the game. They had no interior, the graphics were, not gonna lie, god-awful, and that's why they were considered used in the game, because they were cheaper, because they weren't graphically as advanced as the rest of the game. So, what I hope they would do with this one, if they were to add one, is an online kind of thing, where you have your car, you put miles on it, you don't want it anymore, so you put it in that marketplace to sell. And that would be really interesting to see. Another thing is they don't have licenses in this game. They have what is called Racing Etiquette, and that is basically the same depending on how you look at it. So Racing Etiquette basically just teaches you how to properly race. But in licenses, I don't know if they're going to have them combined, or there's going to be two different things in the long run, or they're just going to throw out licenses altogether and just have Racing Etiquette. But in this game, they have Racing Etiquette, which basically just teaches you how to race with other people. And licenses, they taught you how to race in general. They taught you tips, tricks, and all that fun stuff. I don't know, we don't have very much details on this as of yet, but I'll make a video on that if you guys are interested. I know it's not a huge part of the game that everyone is really into. It was really fun to do the licenses if you've played other Gran Turismo games. It was really fun to try to advance through that, but I'm not sure how they're going to go about that. But as far as that interview goes with that portion, it's pretty much all there was there. So another thing I found extremely impressive is that the campaign will feature 145 events, which I'm not sure how many Gran Turismo 6 and Gran Turismo 5 contain. I'm pretty sure they're about the same. Maybe Gran Turismo 6 had a little bit more, but I'm sure it's not far off, but still, that's pretty impressive. Especially since he doesn't really talk about he talks about it as a campaign, which is really interesting, because before it was like a tour kind of thing. Like Drive Club had the Drive Club Tour, or whatever you want to call it, which is normal in a racing game. They just have like the progression where you do races up to like the fastest cars in the game or whatever. But in Gran Turismo Sport, they're calling it a campaign. But I don't know if they're going to actually incorporate actual campaign like Call of Duty has or something, where there's a storyline, which I'm really hoping so. That would be extremely cool to see, or like Need for Speed. But that's pretty much just wishful thinking. We don't know for sure yet. I mean, I haven't seen anything on it. Maybe there is more news on that. I'll have to do some digging and find out. But another thing is the economy in the game. That hasn't been decided yet, and as well as vehicle unlocking in Gran Turismo Sport. That's yet to be decided, but I'm just hoping to keep it original to previous Gran Turismo's currency and unlocking progression, because, well, I mean, all the cars were unlocked from the get-go, which is fine, because most games are like that, but they weren't as easy to attain as cars in Forza. That's one thing that I absolutely love about Gran Turismo. There's a true sense of accomplishment when you get to show off your cars and whatnot in like public lobbies, and like what you have done to them. Like in Forza, it's like, okay, I was given this Bugatti Veyron, here it is, like you guys have this too, wow, cool. But in Gran Turismo, it's like you had to actually grind for those cars. especially like the classic, which is another thing I hope they add, is the super classic, like Maseratis and Ferraris and Jaguars and all that. Like the XJ13 was like my favorite car in Gran Turismo 5 because it was just so beautiful, and it costed 20 million. I mean, granted, you could actually get those cars without buying them, but to say you bought them is actually really cool to do in Gran Turismo. You're like the coolest dude in the lobby if you get to say you bought those, but not really. But it is pretty cool to say, like, I grinded for this car for hours on end, days on end even, for like a $20 million car, which I really hope they kind of do that again. And that's what sets it apart from Forza. I mean, yeah, Forza, you can spend $1 million on a car, but it's also another game where, like, getting $1 million is absolutely nothing. Like in Horizon 3, the only Forza I played, getting $1 million was absolutely nothing. So, I don't know, I just hope they kind of continue with that. And that's pretty much it, honestly, from this interview. There was a little bit more added, but it was stuff we already knew. Stuff on, like, car count and stuff, which is going to be, 177 from the get-go, and then there's going to be more DLC cars and whatnot. But I just wanted to make a quick little video on this before I left for northern Nebraska and South Dakota for a few days. So, yeah, I hope this was helpful to everyone, and peace out.